Welcome everyone to our very first show on Circle of Inclusion. My name is Hetal Parikh, President and co-founder of Rangam Consultants, where empathy drives innovation every single day. And here I'm accompanied with my very own co-host, Raul Suarez-Rodriguez, Director of Global Economic Inclusion and Supplier Diversity, who is a passionate leader and an advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion, who will be our moderator today, joined by our executive and senior leaders from our partners at Merck and Accenture, who will be sharing their experience on power of collaboration and partnership, where DE&I goes beyond to include disability for economic empowerment.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction, Hetal. It's my pleasure to be here with you all this morning. Again, my name is Raul Suarez-Rodriguez. My pronouns are he, him, and he, and I will be your moderator for today's session. So happy to be here with you all. It's so great to be, here this morning with all of our partners on this amazing project that we kick off. We started planting the seed back in 2019, and here we are taking it on, and we're happy to share how we started, how we would evolve the program, and some of the accomplishments so far. And then before we start our conversation, I would like to introduce our executive sponsor for the Capabilities Network Employee Business Resource Group, who is going to provide a view from the top. It is my pleasure now to introduce Marcos Roberto da Costa. Marcos?
Good morning, everyone. I'm very, very pleased and honored to be part of this conversation today. So every time I have a chance to join these discussions, I truly learn. I learn a lot, and that helped me to become a more effective sponsor, a better leader, and most important, a better person. So as leaders and sponsors, we play an important role in promoting neurodiversity through hiring initiatives such as capabilities in action. So by raising awareness and acceptance, we can increase neurodiversity at work and have a more inclusive environment, and that foster innovation. So this program is an example of innovation, how partnering not only with our primary supplier Accenture, but with our diverse suppliers, we are creating economic opportunities for underrepresented communities, learning and fostering an inclusive culture. And as the executive sponsor of the Capability Network, I have the opportunity to influence my peers to join the disability inclusion journey and sponsor the initiative of more than 20 chapters around the world, led by employees with disability, parents of children with disabilities, and allies. And I don't think there is nothing more rewarding for a leader when we have the opportunity to experiment the outcome of a diverse and inclusive environment. So you won't find in any article or book that can describe how powerful it is. And if you allow me, I can share a quick story about my personal journey on as a leader. And I always considered myself an inclusive person and an inclusive leader. I always did my very best to promote diversity and an inclusive environment in all countries and groups I worked with so far. But my perception changed a couple of years ago when my boss at that time came to me and said, I need you to come with me to the disability conference. So my first reaction was, I'm inclusive leader already, very busy. I said, are you sure? And he said, 100% sure, I need you with me there. So that conference really opened my eyes. And I was an inclusive leader, but for the things I could see. But my level of awareness was very limited. For instance, for for autism. Uh, I learned that week as a leader, I was really not doing enough. In that same conference, I rapidly engaged with one person from my leadership, another really phenomenal leader, and we agreed we need to do more. So we need to talk more. We need to study more. We need to be more vocal. I don't think we're really doing enough. And we agreed to initiate a pilot program with one intern within the autism spectrum. And we said, but we know nothing about it. We need to learn. And there was a really a phenomenal experience. And being more vocal and demonstrating to our people we really care, this propagated quickly within my organization. And during this process, I had one of the best conversations with one person from my group who I was not aware was within the spectrum. And he felt comfortable to come to me and share his story. He taught me so much. I learned a lot with him. And after a conversation, for instance, I no longer see job descriptions, for instance, the same way. The language we use may sometimes prevent people to apply for a job. And if you think about all this always started with the sponsorship, followed by awareness and action. There's this misinterpretation, misperception that we're lowering the bar, but I guarantee to you, this is the very opposite. This person from my team is a top talent, and I have a hard time to follow him. He's extremely smart. So apologies, my opening was too long, but I get too excited about the topic, and I'm really engaged to here to learn more from you all. So let me turn back to you, Raul.
Thank you so much, Marcos, for those words. I mean, we could truly see your passion for the work of disability inclusion. You know, you said it very well. Thank you for sharing that personal story that touched your heart and changed your mind on how we should be approaching this work. And I love what you said. Start with sponsorship, then it goes into an awareness, and then it goes into the action. And I think this is an example of that action that it was taking to really elevate the work of disability inclusion. So here with me, I have Nora Vele, who is our executive director that leads our diversity strategy council, as well as Trish from Accenture, one of our partners, as well as Danielle and Ram as well. So I would like to turn it over to you to do a quick intro before we start on our real panel discussion.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nora Vele, and as Raul mentioned, I'm the Executive Director of Global Diversity and Inclusion. And in my role, I have the opportunity to lead the company's Global Disability and Inclusion Strategy Council, which is a cross-functional team focused on disability inclusion.
Excellent. Yes. Good morning, everyone. So I'm Trish Kercher. I'm the commercial director for the Accenture Merck account. I'm responsible for our sales and finance, contracting, quality, compliance, but also partnering very closely with Merck and procurement on their sourcing and diversity goals as well. So it's great to be here with everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle Vaphides. I lead all our technology services work that Accenture does in service for Merck, but I also play a second role, and I am the global sponsor for our diversity and inclusion program for our workforce working on the Merck account.
Hi, I'm Rahul, and I'm one of the delivery leads at Merck. Been in industry for the last 20 years and working with Rangam and Merck on this opportunity. Very excited.
Excellent. And I'll be remiss if I don't introduce Joni and Tracey, who are the engine behind the scenes to make sure that this program is a success. So Tracey, over to you.
Thank you, Raul, and thank you to Accenture and Merck for joining us today. So Tracey Andrus, and I'm responsible for leading our SourceAbled strategy as well as this beautiful program that we're working on together with the capabilities group, as well as our Circle of Inclusion. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Joni Jordan. I'm very excited to be a part of this program. We basically work directly with the SourceAbled program here at Rangam.
Now I would like to bring to the stage my very friend, Nedra Dickson, who leads the Accenture Supplier Diversity program. And, and this is some of the best practice that we could actually highlight and amplify in the community. So as supply diversity professional, we should do more of this. We should be more collaborative. We should be, taking ideas into action as the one that we will be sharing with you today. So Nedra, I'll turn it over to you to really, give us your perspective on why economic empowerment and impact matters, and how that collaboration that we created here is creating that greater impact.
Hello, everyone. Nedra Dickson, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am so excited to be here, and thank you, Raul. I think Marco said so much, and one of the key words that he said is always learning. I think that is the key as we look at all of this. But the best thing too is, like minds together and seeing all of the different ideas that can come out can only bring so much more ideas. And what's important in the collaboration space that we've been able to do with our partner at Merck is that we can get together and bring ideas, and there's some good ones. There's some that we're like, okay, that's far out there. But what we come together on is a solution that's going to create that economic impact. And so when I get a chance to sit with Raul and our other counterparts in supplier diversity, we start to see what impact do we want to make in the community. And what Marco said is we get to see that if we just learn about the capabilities, we can place people in very technical roles, in roles that we can't follow along. And I think that shows our power of collaboration. And if you think about this generation, and I wish I was as bold as they are, they want to make sure that the corporations they are working for reflect the community in which they live in. And I think that is where we have to create an inclusive marketplace. And in supplier diversity, it is one of the areas in which you can share best practices. You can, learn from each other. It's a continuation to learn. And when you think about what diverse suppliers bring, you look at Rangam. Rangam has taken the time to really create a program that can not only bring awareness around employing people with disabilities and SourceAbled people, but they continue to educate, how corporations can collaborate together. So that's a small, diverse business working with two complex organizations and really showing us that that collaboration and co-innovation is really going to bring better communities and do the economic impact. I'm with you, Marcus. I get very excited when I talk about this topic.
Great. It's really great.
I think we all do. We get really excited. Thank you, Nedra, for those kind words. And I know, you said very well, it's about collaboration, co-innovation, and, get an opportunity to listen to what the diverse suppliers are bringing to the table, because, as small, they can actually bring that agility, that innovation that can help us build and bring new programs to the table. And now that you know who is here today, we would like to give you a background on how everything started, right? As you heard earlier, Merck is really committed to economic inclusion and supply diversity. We have been doing this work for more than 35 years. And, what we do is create economic opportunities for underrepresented communities by procuring products and services from minority, women, LGBT, disability-owned businesses, as well as veteran. And what this came about was, we have a second tier program where we're holding our tier one suppliers, our prime suppliers, in this case, Accenture is one of them, accountable to the same level of commitment that we have as an enterprise to drive that initiative that I just mentioned. And it was in 2019 where we executed a connection event, Economic Impact Summit, and we had an opportunity to connect to make a connection between Accenture and Rangam. Rangam, as you heard, is a minority, women-owned, as well as a disability-owned business to actually partner up to create this program. And what a better way to do that by connecting the two of them with not only a talent acquisition team, but as well a capability network employee business resource group. And the conversation was born that we are to really explain to you how this all came about. So I would like to turn it over to Trish and and Nora and tell me a little bit more about why this is so important and how this commitment is shared across not only our partnership with Accenture, but as well as our core internal stakeholders.
This was a phenomenal opportunity for us to partner with Accenture. Accenture is known as an organization that leads in disability and inclusion, and Merck has wanted to develop a program similar to what we're doing here, but quite frankly, we didn't know how to go about it. As part of our strategic roadmap within the Disability Inclusion Strategy Council, we were focused on one pillar, which was talent acquisition. And this collaboration provided us an opportunity to learn from Accenture, learn from Rangam and SourceAbled about how to begin to build a program where we could recruit talent from this community. And it also helped us to think about the kinds of roles that we have in the organization that we could place this talent in. So we're thrilled to be part of this, and we're learning so much on this journey.
Yeah, so from Accenture's standpoint, we have a value and a shared value with Merck and also with Rangam for disability inclusion and to that. And so as we find ourselves working and partnering with clients such as Merck, we always want to see how we can partner together and help both of us achieve, purpose that we have around our values and disability inclusion. And we've had a long-term relationship with Merck, but also with Rangam. I think going back multiple years, Rangam has been part of our diverse supplier development program that Accenture has. And I think since 2018, we've had wonderful experience with Rangam and other clients with their SourceAbled program. And so we knew, again, the catalyst that you talked about, Raul, with the Economic Impact Summit, that there was a perfect opportunity to kind of bring the three of us together and see how we could further our goals for disability inclusion at Merck and in a partnership in a program such as SourceAbled that helps equip us to learn how to create an environment that's safe and supportive for individuals that have disabilities, but also creates it as a way that it's a learning opportunity and a way to achieve success for organizations who have a desire to employ and build their diversity and their team performance, quite frankly, that results when you have a more diverse team that's inclusive as well. So it was, I think, a great opportunity and great timing for all of us.
I definitely agree. So Hetal, to you now, because I think from the supplier diversity standpoint, you being a minority women disability certified supplier, what does it mean to you? How do you see that connection? What is that level of pride that you take by having such an opportunity here, right? Because you're coming in to support Merck at a second tier, and in the community sometimes these opportunities are overlooked, but then you took that opportunity and you ran with it. Can you tell us more?
Absolutely, Raul. Thank you so much. I think as part of Rangam's commitment and dedication to empowering the community and people with disability and autism, we take great pride in this partnership where we're fully, completely supported every step of the way. That commitment, that belief that we all, the three organizations where we have mutual values and the mission and the vision that we drive, it takes us a long way, and it's incredible to see how a diverse supplier is supported every step of the way, and the trust. I think the trust and the respect, it really helped elevate and accelerate the mission at Rangam that we have of providing meaningful employment for everyone, because we all know we can't do it all, right? It takes a village to make a difference. So what better way than this powerful, beautiful partnership relationship through collaboration.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And Danielle, you mentioned you actually wear two hats. You have your day job, but at the same time, you're actually fostering an inclusive culture at your organization with the other role that you have supporting the E&I. So can you tell us your perspective? And then after you provide your comments, I'll pass it around to Ram so he could actually also enhance on how this has been so powerful, right? In terms of the relationship, in terms of what the commitment that we have.
Yes, wonderful. Thanks, Raul. So as part of our D&I program for our workforce at Merck, one of the pillars that we stand behind is actually building diversity collaboration with our clients. So this was a wonderful opportunity to partner with Rangam and Merck to understand, help us understand, as well as Merck, how to attract and retain neurodiverse talent. And given my day job role in managing the technology landscape across the portfolio, we knew exactly where the perfect opportunities could be to facilitate and foster the pilot roles within our book of business to help ensure that we can understand, learn, rotate, fix, and start building that with the other areas of our portfolio, as we move forward in the program. So not only does it help Merck and Rangam, but it really strengthens our inclusive culture as well. And Ram's on my team, and he's leading the specific area where our pilot program was launched, and can talk more about the opportunity we created there, some of the programs and assistance that we had with the training, et cetera, and how things are going.
Thanks, Danielle. And we have been hearing a lot about inclusive environment, and been with Accenture for such a long time, and with Merck as well. This was one of the best opportunity, I can say, wherein I personally believe in an inclusive environment, creating that kind of an opportunity. And this was the best case scenario for me to jump on the board along with Danielle and others. So in the journey, I think Rangam played a big role, working along with Joni to identify the right skill set, to identify the right people, because as Hetal said, to do this, you need a complete village. You cannot do it all by yourself. So yes, Rangam played a big role in identifying the right skills for us, and I can happily say that it's no different. Anyone, whether it is a neurotypical individual or someone with autism or neurodiverse talent, as long as it's a talent, onboarding someone into your team is a journey. And I feel that even if it's a autistic individual or neurodiverse skill set, we went through that journey, and very similar to a neurotypical individual who would join my project. So I'm looking forward for some more opportunity, how we can create this environment much better for everyone to work and fulfill all our expectations, as well as help Merck in achieving their goals.
Thank you so much, Danielle and Ram. So Tracey, question for you. You're the project lead, right? So you're making, like I said, you are right there behind the scenes making things happen. So what does this means to you? And what's the drive, and how do you bring everybody together? How you feel everybody welcome, and bring the authentic self, and connecting the dots? Because at the end of the day, which we said at the beginning, it's a circle of inclusion, and I hope you're seeing how it takes it, and it had been said before, it's a village, right? And then we're driving throughout the circle to make sure that we make the right connection to, at the end of the day, deliver a great product. And in this case, it's just the inclusion of talent with disabilities. So Tracey, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
I would be happy to share some thoughts on that, and thank you very much, Raul. So as Hetal said, it takes a village. And one of the things that we do, and it's a pleasure for me as a program lead, working with the Capabilities in Action, Accenture and Merck team that we have, is that we are to build scalable and sustainable program so that it can be able to thrive and grow. And we do that because we build an ecosystem of support. As we talked about, we start with the teams within the Accenture and Merck teams, and we prepare the teams to be sure that they're readied for the talent, because we want it to be as inclusive and empowering as we possibly can make it. And so the training is essential. The preparation is essential. The tools in which we provide and the ongoing coaching and support that we provide to the hiring managers, as well as to the associates, the team members that are all engaged in working with it, and everybody that comes in contact, whether that's a security guard that they may come in contact if they're on site, or who they're engaged with from a help desk support, maybe technology related question, a computer is not working, whatever the case might be. We want to be sure that everybody is a part of it and the tools that we provide. But that ecosystem, it's about the talent. At the end of the day, everybody here, you're great, beautiful, but it's about the talent, and it's about making sure that their journey is an exceptional journey. And we all learn. I think one of the things I learned from Nora was it's okay to fail, and we know that. And as long as we can always learn from it and move forward, that's a beautiful thing. So with that said, that support system that we build, we have experts on our team who are there to work with the hiring managers, as well as there to work with the talent in which we place. And twofold, we bring in that local community that supports the talent. We want to, it's really that whole, paying forward and giving forward and making sure that whatever supports are necessary in order to allow the opportunity for them to grow and thrive and have that independence, that's what we're looking for as well. We understand what their career goals are, and we're there to help achieve those dreams that they have too, as well as perform well on the job and making sure that they have the right tools. So that is something that we constantly are looking at. And so it's really, to me, I say that ecosystem is so powerful. And that ecosystem is really what builds that circle of inclusion.
Very well said. Very well said. Joni, anything that you'd like to add on what it was just articulated by Tracey?
Well, absolutely. That really is key in what we are trying to do. I am meeting so many amazing, amazing candidates who bring quite a bit to the table. A lot of times they aren't necessarily welcomed by the professional environment. They are not welcomed in the academic environment. So I meet people who have, doctor's degrees, but very little work experience. And it's just been an amazing journey. Everything that I have learned, one of the things that Larry has taught us is that when you meet one person with this particular challenge, you've met one person with this particular challenge. And that is so true. Everybody is different. They all have such amazing characteristics. And I'm very, like I said, I'm very excited about what we are doing right now. I really am. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. No, thank you for that. And that's critical, right? So one voice is as important as millions of voices, right? Because that
Absolutely.
voice is what is going to bring that different, that unique perspective that would allow us to really start thinking differently, right?
Yes.
So thank you so much for those insights and comments. So Nora, I'm gonna quick turn it over to you because, how do you see this type of program creating an economic empowerment and impact? Because, employment comes from three different approaches, right? Direct hires, diverse suppliers, contingent workers. So this strategies amplifies a great amount of work that we're doing, to really elevate the disability talent community, and it's creating a ripple effect, right? So can you tell us more on how all of that come together?
Sure, Raul. When I think about this program, it aligns exactly to what we have been focused on within the council. We recognize that not all employment opportunities would come from direct hire, and we find other ways to provide experiences for our hiring managers to engage with this talent. So the connection to the supplier side is vitally important because it provides our managers with an opportunity to work with talent that they haven't experienced perhaps in the past. The second part of this speaks to our diverse suppliers in terms of certified businesses that are owned by individuals with disabilities. And as we thought about how we could create economic empowerment for all, we realized we needed to take that three-prong approach. This type of program, though, allows us, as Tracey mentioned, the opportunity to experiment and to fail and to pivot and really think about how we can do this work within our organization. I love the idea of piloting it in one particular part of the organization. The minute that we begin to communicate internally about this program, it is going to really cause a sea change in the organization. The Capability Network Employee Resource Group is a group that has chapters all around the globe. And it's interesting because we are hearing from our colleagues that are not in the United States about a need to source for talent, and they don't know how to go about sourcing talent at a global level. And programs like this educate us and help us to think through our sourcing strategies. So I know that, the minute we start to internalize this more within our organization, there is going to be a demand coming from different departments about wanting to be part of this.
I totally agree, Nora, with you 100%. I think, this is, this pilot or this experiment is really going to take us to different places and new heights. So no doubt about that. So Ram, so you have been the first person to hire, the first individual with disabilities to support us in this project. So can you tell us a little bit more on, the learnings, the value of the partnership? How can we continue to sustain this, as we all heard that the sustainability of the program will be critical, right? To continue to create that economic empowerment. So can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, sure. I guess one of the biggest concern that people have is about failure. Whenever you are trying to do something new, you stop yourself that it might fail. But to everyone's surprise, I would say that whenever you bring in something new, there is an experience, there is a journey, there is a learning. Okay, one step at a time. We hired someone in this program, and it was exactly the same experience. We had to train, we had a learning, we had some failures and some corrective measures, and we are on that journey, embarked on that journey, and the best part was that the individual is feeling great working with us, getting that feeling that you are part of the team. And yes, it took a little while for the individual to open up amongst ourselves, and that goes with everyone. It doesn't matter whether you are a special need or a neurotypical. Everyone takes their own time to open up, and that's all happened. So for me, I think it was a very nice experience, and I feel great that yes, I'm part of a society which is trying to create an inclusive environment for everyone.
Thank you so much. Danielle, do you want to explain a little bit more where this individual is sitting on and the type of role that person is doing today?
Yeah, so thanks for that. I also wanted to just kind of add and give kudos to the team that, I think it's the first time we're actually doing some of this work remote. So that put on an additional challenge challenge for everyone as we thought through, like, how is onboarding, training, and onboarding activities in this new virtual environment, as well as working remotely, right? So you're not getting, we knew in advance that we weren't going to get the typical team building that we would normally have when we're working on site and having lunch together or grabbing coffee or having those small connection points. So, I mean, that was one of the early fears as we were shaped differently to make sure that the resource was engaged in this virtual environment. So kudos to the team on helping to address that. And I, like Ram said, I think it was no different than how we onboard new people in the team, any other day, right? We have, great technology like Teams, where we're able to engage and have virtual lunches and engage in that way in our different team building, in different team building activities that creatively the team has been able to come up with to keep that engagement going. So for me, that was the biggest learning as well, is how do we integrate this into our sort of new world?
Yeah, no, thank you for saying that, because I think that gives, that deserve extra credits, right? The ability to not only take on this project, but also execute it during the time that we are working remotely. And I know, Nora, there were some learnings also that we got out of this program that we bringing back on how we would apply that on our hiring onboarding process. Do you want to add anything around that before we move on?
I would just say that we know that our onboarding process is a little bit complicated, and the feedback that we're giving to the onboarding team is there a way to really rethink it and reimagine the onboarding process for everyone?
And if I could just interject on that, the one thing that we strive to do when we're implementing programs, with you and other clients, is that what we are doing is, and you've heard Ram say it several times here as well, make it universal. So the things that, that maybe some ahas that are coming out of this that you're sharing, of course, with your onboarding team, those are things that, can be applied all throughout and elsewhere. And you know what, the beautiful thing is, we're learning a lot of that from the talent in which we have the pleasure to work with, and to learn from them as well, but also from all the different colleagues that we get to partner with. So that is where we bring in those best practices. At the end of the day, it becomes your program, and that's our goal. It's your program, and scale and sustain. So that's where I am glad to hear that. And I've been hearing where we're taking things and why aren't we doing it like that? That we should continue to do it more like that. So why not the remoteness or whatever the case is, or making it less complicated? So again, the universal approach is really key. And that's something that we also train on when we, at the beginning, when we talk about inclusion and those insights and placing people with disabilities, is how to take that from a universal approach as well.
Most definitely, empathy for equity is universal. How about that? So Joni, I know we got our new talent that it was just hired. Can you tell us more about that new person and the journey?
Okay, Jila Naragni is her name, and she is a recent graduate from Arizona State. Her focus was computer information systems. She had 3 years of experience in technology, and had been trying to find a place for her where she could utilize what she considers to be her gifts. And it was just amazing. We worked with this young lady for several years. And when we connected with the Merck Accenture program, we knew right away. She knew right away after meeting with the managers during her interview. She knew. She kept saying, and again, like I said, I'd been in her life for several years and had never heard her respond in this way. She kept saying, what do I need to do? Please help me. I want to work there. I really know that's where I need to be. And so I kept saying, just be patient, just be patient. We're going to do this. We'll pull it together. It's going to happen. And when the call came that the offer was extended, literally she put the phone down and screamed for about 5 minutes. Then she came back and she said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You just don't understand. I really wanted to be a part of this team. So she is very, very happy. She loves it. I speak with her on a regular basis, and she couldn't be happier. She couldn't be happy.
So, Danielle, question for you. As we just heard how excited Gila was, how, what we learned about her story on that quick little video, why so important? Again, I want to reinforce on that employee impact, right? Because we talked about how great it is to have a program like this, because we're creating an economic empowerment and impact. We're driving inclusion through a different lens, through a different way that has not normally been done in the past, if we could describe it that way. But what do you think the benefits of on the impact we're driving to that employee, given that what we just did on placing her on this role?
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is, I mean, we try to look at diversity from all lenses and try to keep our teams diverse. So I don't see it as any different, right? Making sure that we're engaging all people at all levels for all reasons, right? And so checking in with them and how they feel about their career path, their journey, the work that they're doing. Again, you heard from Joni that Jill is very happy with the work. I mean, we couldn't be happier that she's engaged, excited, similar to what we would do for, any new person on our team, making sure that they had the right tools to be successful. So, I think it's great, like I was saying before, about, pivoting to the virtual workforce and it being a little bit more challenging or difficult for us to engage our teams. But, the team's been super creative about not only doing that for Gila, but for everybody on the team. Everybody has their own special capabilities that we like to focus on, make sure everybody's heard and that they're valued. So I couldn't be thrilled about the progress that she's making within our team, and I think Ram could speak to the impact that she's having on the people around her as well, her energy that she's bringing.
I would love to hear that, Ram, if you can elaborate a little bit more on the impact that she's driving to the people that is working closely with her.
I'll just quote one incident. We had this virtual lunch, okay, and she started with that she has little difficulty in understanding people when there are a lot of people talking, okay. But somehow I knew that okay, she's trying to play a little safe, and she wants to take her own time to understand. And within few minutes, and this lunch we'll not discuss any work, we'll just chit chat. And within few minutes, she was the only person who was talking, and she had a completely different energy, and people just enjoyed having that conversation with her. So for us, it was a completely different experience. We thought that she would be a quiet girl sitting in the meeting and mostly listening mode, not able to be the one who was kind of driving, but she was at the driver's seat. So a complete different experience, and I'm loving it. I'm really loving it, and she has been showing that every time I talk, she brings that positive energy, and that's the biggest asset, I would say, to have someone with that kind of positive energy in the team.
It's amazing to hear that, and you could see that benefit work both ways, right? It's benefiting her for being employed, but also she's benefiting the team that is working with her, as they now have a different perspective. They can value more the talent that has disability. So thank you so much for that. So in terms of Tracey, Trish, I'm going to go to you. So what do you think are some strategies that we could implement to socialize not only the program internally here on Merck, but also in Accenture, that we could actually continue to elevate this work and drive better outcomes and a bigger impact?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And some of this we're already doing. I know where we brought this program and highlight along with Nora and some other members of the team. to the Capabilities in Action ERG, shared what we were doing, and just people understanding and learning about the program and the fact that we actually are doing this and having this experience and getting these learnings was so empowering for them. And I think, as Nora was saying, it's just gonna, I think, really take off from there, because it creates this energy and realization that there's a mechanism for this and a path forward and learnings that people can leverage. And so it's going to build momentum. And so I think just making sure in the different forums within your organization, your enterprise, that you can kind of share these goals and examples and stories. And, you know, we do that within Accenture and our different ERGs and forums that we have, best practices across accounts, you know, how we partner with our clients, how we partner with diverse suppliers, and the outcomes that we're achieving, you know, telling those stories and getting it out there is just, I think that's one of the most powerful outcomes, and because it allows people to learn from it and then build a vision from that once they understand there's kind of tools and techniques, methods, right, that work for bringing in diverse talent, helping them achieve their goals. And then just, I love the story, Ram, that you were telling. So you just really get to understand the richness of the individual, which Danielle says it, you know, at the end of the day, everybody has a lot behind them. And so it just building that appreciation at the individual level, and then understanding there's tools and trainings then for different people who are differently able, differently, you know, enabled, that you can then take that and build that and kind of pull that value that you have, the goals in your own organization, and make it happen. So it's all about, I think, the storytelling and sharing.
Very well said. Nora, anything that you'd like to add? I know you mentioned earlier, the moment others see this, they're going to jump and try to do, you know, more, or, you know, or in different areas. Anything else that you'd like to add?
You know, as I reflect on what everyone said, and Joni really made me think about the Capability Network and that collaboration we've had with our employee resource group. What this program does is it offers hope to parents with children that are autistic or neurodiverse. And I believe that when others begin to see what we're doing here, it really provides their child to one day will be able to be part of a company like Merck. I think that it will create a ripple effect. We're seeing it already. To be part of this journey, they want more that they have for information and knowledge, and they want the experience. So the more we can create that experience for others, the stronger this circle of inclusion will become.
So very well said. And I would add, you know, from being the lead of our global economic inclusion and supply diversity program, this is an example how we actually are creating those economic opportunities. This is where we're changing the focus on, okay, we need to spend a lot of dollars with diverse suppliers. Yes, that's important because that's how we create those opportunities. But look at this project, right? So yes, there's going to be a spend, you know, as part of the engagement, but what we're doing is bigger than just the number. You know, we're making that spend count by doing this amazing program that is going to your point, is going to create a ripple effect. It's going to grow, and it's going to empower, you know, our teams internally, and also it's going to empower other organizations to really think about how to do this type of, you know, inclusion work, you know, in their respective organizations. So now let's talk into our first hire for the program. Let's hear from Gila.
My interests these days have been walking a lot and also reading. I also like to learn more about information technology during my spare time. I spend a lot of time playing with my dog. He's half poodle, half Pomeranian, and I really like to start playing golf. I was always interested in computers, and when I found out that my university offers computer information systems bachelor's degree, I decided to enroll in this major. I believe it's a great field. It's in demand, and there's some industries such as banking, healthcare, retail, aerospace. Was always interested in technology. I'm extremely happy that I got this position at Accenture and Merck. Of course, Rangam pays my salary, and Rangam helped me get this job. I'm very happy. Mary from Rangam has been in contact with me since a long time ago. She kept sending me job descriptions, and really both of you have been very helpful, and both of you helped me get this job, and of course I really appreciate it. And also I am extremely happy that I work with wonderful managers and everyone else in my team at Accenture and Merck. They have been very helpful to me, so that I can learn so much in this position, and I am extremely happy with my team at Merck. Thank you, Joni. You have a great afternoon too.
All right, thank you all for this insightful conversation. Now I will turn it back to Marcos for the final thoughts before we wrap up.
Yeah, so really, again, thank you so much for having me here today. I get very energized when I connect with you all and see the passion, and this is truly connect with the mission of our company, that is to help improve and save lives, and offering the opportunity to have brilliant people working with us. And that's what moves me, and as a leader, to create conditions for people to be to bring their whole self and help us in this journey to help our patients. So I'm very excited. We're going to continue to engage more and do more and learn more. I still feel I don't know enough. I still feel that I need to explore other ways. I don't think there is a top of the mountain when it comes to the diversity. It's something that we need to continue to connect and help each other in this journey. The world is evolving so fast, and we learned so much during this pandemic, where the work can be done. There are multiple ways that the work can be done, and there's so many brilliant people. I'm very, very honored to be part of this organization, and please count on me, push me hard. If I'm not moving enough, push me hard. So thank you so much. It was a very pleasant morning. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcos. Now it is time to close. Hetal, I will turn it over to you. It has been a true pleasure to be the moderator of this session. I can't wait to hear more about the success of this program as we continue to evolve it.
Thank you so much. And what we've heard today from the team here is, what does the power of inclusion mean? It really helps to bring such a rewarding feeling and achieving great results through unique perspective and building great morale and culture within the organization. But increasingly more important of DE&I for corporations to innovate and be productive and bring diversity is creating more engaged, inclusive workforce and workplace. With such humbleness, we're very grateful that we can learn and grow from this true leadership that leads by example and really provides an environment and really creates an environment for an organization like us to be part of that village to make an impact in the society globally. So thank you, Raul, for being part of our champion and our circle of inclusion. And thank you everyone here on the team for being such great champions. So thank you everyone for this incredible partnership